Alright, good morning everybody and welcome to Morning Coffees with James. I'm James and this is my morning coffee. Let's have that sip, shall we? Yeah, you can tell I've been doing this multiple takes. So I want to talk about something today that is something I've been doing for the last 12 weeks, and that was weight training. I was doing a interesting kind of weight training exercise program along with a very interesting diet. I'll get into the exercise program first because that's the easiest thing to explain. For the past 12 weeks, I've been doing a Sylvester Stallone / Frank Columbo Rambo 2 and 3 training, which consists of Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. I've been doing chest and back in the morning and shoulder and arms in the afternoon. Tuesday, Thursdays, and Saturdays, I've been doing legs and calves in the morning and rear delts and traps in the afternoon. And ab workout, and abs too. So abs, well actually I've been doing abs all through that thing, so yeah. So let's talk about, so yeah, that part was pretty much easy. It wasn't difficult or anything like that, and honestly, I think it's actually pretty beneficial to me because I was focusing a lot on building that muscle constantly. So, what would the diet go with that? Well, a diet I did try to do it with, and it actually does work, but I wouldn't recommend the extent of it, the extent of like what it was. And that is the 36 eggs a day diet. Now, for those who are hearing that, yes, 36 eggs a day. That's 3 dozen eggs per day for the past 12 weeks. Now, again, I'm going to recommend, if you're going to start this out, this is where I'm going to get into the details of everything, and this is where it's going to get complicated. So, for those who don't know, the 36 eggs a day diet consists of eating 36 eggs a day, mostly raw, or making it into a special drink, which I did a couple of times, but after a while I just decided to just do a Rocky Balboa thing and just eat them raw. Did it for 36 weeks. Excuse me, not 36. I consumed 36. I did for 12 weeks and a little above the 8 weeks. I thought it was 12 weeks I could do this, but I misread that, so forgive me on that. So my recommendation, don't go for 12, go to 8. That's the maximum. But for the best side, for the maximum, so basically go for 6 to 8 weeks, and that's it. Don't go over 9. So what did this include? Well, why did I do this? Well, for those who don't know, during the whole pandemic thing and everything was locked down, I decided when the gym was going to reopen again, I was going to wreck my body. Not in the sense of just like hurting myself or getting myself into pain, but just pushing my body to just go with it. And looking at this diet and looking at that exercise program, I decided to do both. And a lot of people ask, well, what's the side effects of doing 36 eggs a day? Well, it's actually a safer alternative to steroids. Now, for those out there who say, well, what? It's, oh, you're just taking steroids? No. It's, a lot of people think that bodybuilders take steroids a lot. Like, yeah, granted, if you can tell from the side effects of, like, if they're taking steroids, if they have acne, if their balls are shrunken, if they have man boobs for men. Women, on the other hand, you can tell right away they look like super mutants from Fallout 4. Or Fallout, excuse me. I know there's a lot of female bodybuilders who are like, no. Ask yourself, do you look like Wonder Woman or do you look like the mutant from Fallout 3? Look at it. I'll give you the 2 pictures later down the road. And again, I'll talk about steroids in another video and why you shouldn't take them and why I think they're absolutely not as evil as people are making them out to be, but how people are. But I'll get into that in just a moment. I'll talk about steroids in another video. So what this diet consisted of is basically eating 36 eggs a day, 3 separate kind of like protein shakes, and three protein shakes between meals. So basically, you can have this one as a breakfast, and then before or after lunch, you can have one And then before dinner, you can have one, or after dinner. I'd usually do after dinner. Having 36 eggs a day as a drink. And usually you mix it into a nice little drink. You know, you put half and half, 12 ounces of that, the eggs, 12 eggs, and banana for taste, protein powder, and mix it in together. I did my special drink with banana and blueberries because I needed that extra carbs to keep me going and help with the energy levels, because I was also doing work too, so physical manual labor. So yeah, I'm actually looking at this, and I kind of didn't do any of this stuff, so I'm looking at all the stuff I could have done and didn't do. So anyway, I did this for 12 weeks, and I noticed I did this twice, by the way. I did this for the minimum of 6 weeks, and I did this for the maximum of 12 weeks, which you should never do. Again, don't go over 8 weeks. Stick with 8 weeks or 6 weeks. 6 to 8 weeks, that's it. So, and I gotta keep repeating that. So, how this is gonna work though, it's basically, I'm lost my train of thought here for a second. So I did this before, and basically I'm going to use bench as an example of this. I'm going to do 2 benches. My regular bench I'm going to start with like the one where I made the discovery why this actually works. I was doing a Vince Gironda's 12-8-6-15 program, where you do first set being 10, the next set being 8, and the next set being 6, and you increase with that. And when you get to 15, you just do a light and do a pump out of that, you know, like a failure set. On my 6th rep for dumbbell press, I was basically dumbbell benching 100 pounds on each hand, so basically 200, but on each hand. It's different when it's like on a barbell, because you have like both arms are at work, but when it's a dumbbell, it's separate, and it's just like you're working, like both those like areas are working that one area separate. So yeah, I thought I was gonna go get 6. I actually got 10, and I was like, shit, this actually worked. And after Corona, I couldn't get back into the gym and just keep doing the same weight training. So basically, I lost a lot of strength and did a lot of cardio, which, by the way, doing cardio is not that bad. People make it out to be, but it's not as great as doing like weight training. Weight training is really where the fun's at. So I did that. So when I got back, when the gym started reopening, I told myself I was gonna destroy my body, not painfully like, but in the sense of like working out and just pushing myself. So yeah, and for the last 12 weeks, I've been doing 36 eggs a day in the Stallone diet and the Stallone Rambo 2 workout program. Not a big fan of it because it's hard to get the abs in there because your body starts to like get tired after a while. Again, this is a safer alternative to steroids, and also much better too, because it's like eggs are proven to be healthy for you. So I can tell you the side effects. Oh, my other bench too. I forgot about that. I'm talking about other things too. Sorry, had more than 1 cup of coffee. So my regular bench, the regular flat, barbell bench. You see a lot of people almost get killed on that thing. Ooh, didn't even stretch either. My bench increased. Like it got like basically I had to rebuild my strength again after like the Corona shutdown, and I started out being kind of weak and stuff like that. I started with doing like an 8x4 bench, which is just doing 4 sets of 8 reps of bench. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 for 4 reps for 4 sets. Excuse me. On my last week, I got 280 3 times, and usually I get stuck with that, and somehow or another I plateau, and that's it. I broke through that. I literally broke through that, and I was proud. Like it was a good set too. I got 280 like 3 times, and I was like, shit, my strength came back hard. So it definitely does work. And I was doing after that at the end of that, I was doing a 3x3 benching, so 3 sets for 3 reps. And that it definitely shows, and it definitely works. And I got bigger too, so yeah. So yeah, it definitely does work in that sense, but it's not. And again, it's not a sustainable diet. It really is just for like helping you out through that plateau, breaking through. It can work for athletes, it can work for bodybuilders, it can work for athletes. Excuse me, competitive athletes who do sports and stuff like that. It's great for that kind of thing. It's one of those things that is kind of a neat trick for bodybuilding in a sense. If you're thinking about taking steroids, I wouldn't recommend doing steroids. I recommend doing the 36 eggs a day, because I feel like that's a lot healthier and a lot better for you. Because a lot of people don't know this, but foods actually have more power than people give them credit for. So I'll talk about that in another video later down the road. So yeah, it's not a sustainable diet, so I would recommend doing it for 6 to 8 weeks. And I want to talk about another thing that was going on along with it and how this got discovered too. So a lot of people think that eggs are like cholesterol is bad for you, and that's like the media pushing that, and there's a lot of things the media pushes that I think is not true about foods. It's really not true. Saturated fats are not bad for you. Protein's not bad for you. It's not going to give you cancer. We overconsume carbohydrates way too much. I mean, like, way too much. I mean, take a look at the food pyramid and take a look at Michelle Obama's plate thing. I think it's all, like, fucking crazy. It doesn't make any goddamn sense to have it up there. And also, we lie about the different things that our food body needs. Saturated fats are not good for you. It's like, no, fats are good for you. They don't make you fat. They actually feed your body and actually are good for your brain. So, and eggs being one of them, eggs are not bad for you. People talk about cholesterol, and it's like, no, you're talking about LDL. LDL is the bad cholesterol in our bodies. And yes, our body naturally produces cholesterol. It does. It actually does produce a lot of the things that like people are afraid of. It produces, creatine. It produces LDL. It produces HDL, which is good cholesterol. And here's a funny thing: eggs actually contain HDL, and your body does need cholesterol. It doesn't need the bad cholesterol. LDL is the thing that really gets you. HDL is the thing that actually helps remove the bad cholesterol from your body. So, yes, and I would recommend for people who are not like doing any weight training or any kind of athletic training to eat like a minimum of like 2 to 4 eggs. That's it. That's really what your body needs. But if you're like doing weight training and stuff like that, 6 to 4 eggs is the maximum. If you want to go a little higher and do 8, that's cool, but 6 to 8, that's it. Yeah, so, and again, cholesterol's not bad for you. It's not super bad, and again, eggs are good for you, and you need fats to help this head meat up here to, grow. And again, what am I getting into here? Oh yeah, how this guy came about and who discovered it. Actually, it was around a lot longer than people gave it credit for. So the 36 eggs a day diet actually came from a medical journal from the 1960s, I believe, or like, I believe it was from like the 50s. I'm not really sure. Again, I'll put a link in the video down below where it came from and how it got discovered, because it is a very interesting little fitness trick for people who are trying to gain muscle and trying to gain any kind of weight training altogether. I believe it came out during like the 60s or the 50s, but apparently doctors were feeding burnt victims 36 eggs a day to help them heal over time, and it actually did work. Vince Duranda did a research on that, and he basically discovered that not only did it help burnt victims heal faster, but it also helped people, like, he didn't do this for, like, again, for not narcissistic reasons, vanity reasons. He did this to see if this actually worked for something else, for weight training in general. and it actually did work. It was actually a safer alternative to steroids. And a lot of people people look at that, and it's actually, yeah, it actually does work, because it increases the dianabolical momentum in your body, increases the testosterone, and increases the hormones to help heal the body, increase it. So yeah, it definitely does work in that sense, and it's not, again, not sustainable diet, but it definitely helps with pushing, you get through a plateau of some sort if you're stuck somewhere. So yeah. Do I recommend this being a sustainable diet? No. But again, this was discovered by Vince Gironda, and it actually has some scientific background. It's not somebody who... Vince didn't just do this for vanity's sake. Somebody did this to help actually real people with real injuries. So yeah, with that being said, it really, it goes to show that bodybuilders are not like dumb meatheads. They actually put some science into it. The old school bodybuilders, I think, but nowadays, if you look at like the new wave of bodybuilders, like not the new wave, but like the bodybuilders that we've been seeing now, they kind of look like super mutants. They're bloated bubble guts, and the disproportionate sizes. I'm surprised they're not going to be painted green, going around, "You beauty human," stuff like that. So yeah, if there's any bodybuilders out there, or if any like athletes out there, anybody who's doing weight training, anybody who's doing any kind of like physical activity, if you're trying to break a plateau, trying to get like a bench, or you're trying to like, the reason why I did it for 12 weeks was I was trying to rebuild my body, because before then I actually had a spinal injury that really took me out of the game. Not really anything broken or like a slipped disc. It was basically my spine was like putting pressure on my sciatic nerve, and it was causing pain. Yeah, in a sense it was a slipped disc, but honestly it helped regain my body strength again. So yeah, I'm a little bit smarter now when it comes to weight training and stuff like that, so don't you worry. But I will say this though, it was hellish. It was a hell of a week doing the training and the diet for about 12 weeks. So yeah, I would, if anybody like is gonna do this, I would recommend doing this cycle for 6 to 8 weeks, and do your training for about 6 to 12 weeks, because I'll tell you this much, it does get a little complicated after that. So yeah, that's all I gotta say about that. So if you're thinking about doing it, like for those athletes out there thinking about doing steroids, this is the safer alternative. And for anybody who's really trying to get into doing like any kind of like fitness of any sort, I don't care if it's like bodybuilding or yoga or dance or swimming or aerobics, or you're mixing different things. I wouldn't recommend this to you if you're just starting out. I would also say to you, don't buy into the bullshit of the diet industries. Don't buy into the whole, this is bad, this is good. Do your research. When you start this out, do your research. And again, I'm going to say this up front. Proteins are not bad for you. Don't overconsume on carbs. Fats are pretty much good for you. So yes, that's all I got to say. So peace out.